So welcome everyone. This is our first boot camp session of 2024, and we are very excited to be here on a sold out session. So thank you all very much for registering and coming today. This session is backed by a ton of research from industry leaders. I think Tanya has literally watched probably 30 podcasts or listened to 30 podcasts over the last few months so that we could come to the table today and with distilled down information around, the handful of top trends that should be focused on in this year. So we welcome questions like last time inside the chat. So feel free to, put them in throughout the 50-minute session. And if we can answer them during, that's great. And we'll also allow for a few, 5 or 10 minutes after the session to answer more. So let's get right into this. Little bit about quickly intros, a little bit about me. I'm Jen Pugsley, the VP of Customer Success at Goose Digital. Essentially, I'm a broker turned digital strategist. I've spent the last decade helping brokers, carriers, and even MGAs create successful digital marketing strategies that drive growth and show and produce value. I think one of the biggest passion plays for me is really helping these companies. We're a service provider, okay? So really helping these companies make the most out of their digital investments, whether that's technology investments or, paid advertising or email marketing or campaigns. A lot, as everyone knows, a lot of dollars go into this every single year. And I like to see stretching those dollars as much as we possibly can. And this is my good friend, Tanya.
Hello, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for joining us today for this boot camp. Jen and I have our Valentine's Day colors on in celebration. I even matched my coffee mug to the theme. It's all about branding, isn't it? A little bit about me. I've been a musicologist turned broker turned marketer. I've been in insurance marketing for the past decade. I was doing marketing for the Sharp group of companies and the Rogers group of companies. And then more recently, with my work through Trufla, I've been advising people on how to automate and streamline their marketing in the Canadian Digital Adoption Program. So if you want some more information on that, you can definitely message me after. But a little bit about how we synthesized this report for the 2024 insurance marketing trends is we really took what was happening in the insurance world in 2023 and where it's projected to be going in 2024 and combining that with what's happening in the marketing world. I didn't want to purely look at marketing trends because insurance tends to be a little bit behind some of the more content marketing trends than other industries. Not only that, but we are a very regulated industry. So a lot of the things that are going on in marketing, we can't necessarily do. So we had to kind of forecast and synthesize the two worlds together.
Yeah, awesome. I will just point out that Tan made me wear pink today. Okay, it's clearly her color, not mine, but okay. Okay, this is our agenda. We're going to chat quick about the state of the insurance industry, shifting demographics, which is super interesting. And then we're going to spend a big focus on marketing trends, okay? Because that's the area that you guys all want to see and where you can focus your time. So we're gonna get into this. These are probably the same challenges, all right, that we've seen here for a while over, but we'll recap them for 2023. Obviously a hard market, premium increases, although I think there's been some reports lately that there could be lightening of that in certain lines of business. Claims cost, reduced capacity, stricter underwriting standards, talent acquisition, brokers facing stiff competition from other industries, and companies within the insurance sector for recruiting skilled professionals. This one is about to be very concerning in the next 5 to 10 years. It's already concerning, but with very skilled, experienced people retiring. And then, of course, economic pressures, which we're all aware of in terms of climate crisis, loss ratios, inflation, and interest rates. So these challenges, as we all know, they're no secret, and they're insurance focused. They're not marketing focused. However, being in this space now for a number of years, and even more recently, what we're discovering is that there's many opportunities to leverage digital and marketing to help these areas. Okay, so we'll get into these a bit later, but these are tactics such as hyper targeting, aligning with key carrier or your carrier's key appetites. Okay, education around loss prevention, awareness around self serve tools, and of course, adopting data driven techniques. So we're going to go through those today.
We're going to look at shifting demographics. This is where I nerd out. When I originally started marketing in 2013 for insurance, Sharp Insurance was heavily invested in millennial marketing before a lot of other people, because we could really see that, okay, 10 years ago, they were around early 20s, and they were the ones who were getting the professional careers, were starting to buy their cars. So let's put our platform in a way that they can find us. So we were the first to really heavily invest in SEO. We were the first to invest in Google Ads and creating a website that we knew would attract millennials. Easy form fills for getting a quote. Back 10 years ago, we had to set a timer and make sure we were contacting an online quote request that came in within 5 minutes, so that we were the first to get the business. So we were very heavy millennial focused, and that really contributed to our rapid growth that we saw. So what we're seeing now, 10 years later, is wow, okay, so those Gen Zers, the technology natives, are really starting to enter. They're in their late 20s now. They're getting out of school, they're graduating, they're buying that first car. Maybe home ownership isn't quite in the horizon for a lot of people right now, based on the economic forecast of interest rates and all of that, but they are renting and possibly buying condos, and they're traveling, and maybe there is an increase actually of Gen Z and millennials looking into life insurance more so than even like Gen Xers and boomers. So their behavior is different, and it's really important to understand that behavior to attract new business into your funnel.
Yeah.
Just some quick things. I'm a proud elder millennial, and these hit me so hard because this is who I am, and I am a good demographic. I have the two cars, the house. I travel, so and my husband has a business, so I'm like your insurance gold mine. So this is what millennials are looking for, and the Gen Zers as well. It's that digital first approach. So this is not a secret. It's online interactions. They don't want to talk on the phone. They want to avoid talking to you as much as possible. My voice mail actually says, please message me, like text message me. Don't even leave a voicemail. I'm not even going to check it. Just text me.
Yeah.
So it's that seamless digital experience of getting a quote online, getting your insurance documents online, being able to self-serve, doing everything you can possibly do for your insurance online. A lot. So this is interesting, and we're going to get into this more. And I'm finding I'm more into this in my own purchasing behavior. And please leave a comment, actually, if you are like this too. I am making buying decisions now based on the social responsibility programs that companies have. So, for instance, I buy a lot of my clothes now from Tentree because I know it's more sustainable and they plant trees, and I feel really good about that purchase, like I'm doing something ethical. I used to buy Warby Parker glasses because they would give away a free pair of glasses every time I purchased one for someone in need. So just anybody out there listening, let me know. Just say, yes, I do it too, if you are driven to make decisions on buying process depending on the social responsibility programs of the company. And then quickly, Gen Zers and millennials want data, hyper-personalized data, targeted ads and communications sent to them. They don't want to be spammed. Anything that doesn't have to do directly to someone, they feel like it's spam, and we will talk about that more. And that is not so much in the Gen X boomer generation, although I think that's shifting a bit, Jen.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah. And I think it's, why we're bringing this up is that it is a shift in, it's a shift in those demographics. I think that, I think that it's important is, again, going back to what you were saying earlier about their asset portfolio is different than what the target was even 10 years ago. And when we talk about things like, purchasing online and easy interactions online, it is purchasing. It's also the consumption of information, right? Which I find is absolutely painful. It's getting better, but it's painful in this industry, right? So if something's going on, or I want to research something, before I talk to somebody, it's very difficult to kind of get, straight answers, clear answers, quick answers. And part of that is just insurance itself. So we'll go into these. We're not going to really talk, in depth. You're going to get these slides, but essentially what we're looking at is Gen Zs, millennials versus Gen X and boomers, their technology usage, communication style, decision making. Okay. Going back to, what Tanya was saying around peer research, heavy on the review side. And what Tanya was talking about, which we'll talk about later, is around purchases, meaningful purchases. They want their purchases to count. Okay, especially in something like insurance, where it's the must have, right? So they want those things to be purposeful. Again, value and ethics. Personalization versus privacy. I think this is probably the biggest one that we're seeing on the scene right now, is that Gen Z and millennials, and I would even say some Gen Xs now, that they expect these personalized experiences and they're open to sharing their data. Okay. So in fact, what we're seeing now lately is that it, if these experiences aren't personalized, an example is, oh, why am I getting commercial insurance information when I don't have a business at all? Or that's just one example. It's actually can be seen as this data breach, or this something to be worried about, right? So again, we're going to get into more of the personalization and why it's important, but I do think that's critical to point out, because we get questions all the time around cookies and what should we, are people just blocking, and they care about their privacy? They do, but when it comes to things like, especially insurance, they are, and banking, they're expecting those personalized experiences. So let's get into the insurance marketing trend, which, we're talking about content marketing here. This is the big one. We're going to spend most of the time in this section. So, okay, on to the next slide. Sorry, I'm just going to change it. Oh, am I frozen? No, good. Good, 10?
You're good. Yeah,
Okay.
the slide has changed.
Okay, so everyone knows who this fellow is, right? Gary Vee, probably. Okay, Joseph, I do not personally. Maybe that had to do with the privacy, but
That's the privacy one, yeah.
That's a privacy one. We can chat about that for sure. Whether you guys like, Gary Vee personally or not, he's on the forefront. Tanya and I, researched tons of these leading professionals in the industry. They're kind of all saying the same thing. People right now are using an average of 7.1 social platforms, are on 7.1 social platforms, which is insane. Average time spent per day on social is about 2 hours. The major shift that we've seen has gone from activities that are trying to drive likes, followers, and shares, to something called competing for day trading attention. Okay, so right now, what that means is companies and brands are becoming obsessed with gaining this attention. It's not just about volume, though; it's about different types of content, how it's styled, the length, timing, and etc. So again, we're not trying to freak you out here. All data points to companies who are posting anywhere from 8 to 15 posts a day, across all platforms, are picking up market share simply because there's just too much of people's attention within these platforms. So we're not saying come away from this, being stressed out and saying that, okay, we have to do 8 posts starting tomorrow. Tanya and I are going to show you really practical ways that you can come in, that you can apply to handle a lot of this volume.
Okay, so we just did a quick poll here. So it looks like we're tied between 1 and 6 platforms that people are logging into. I know personally I'm on 6, but I am a marketer, so that explains it. But I mean, yeah, our attention is definitely divided between Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, TikTok. YouTube is a big one I'm always on too. So it is important that you are on these platforms. I have team members here, both currently and past team members in the webinar, who have heard me preach. And I always preach this because I used to hate it when a stakeholder would come up to me and be like, why aren't we on Pinterest? I'm like, we don't create content for Pinterest. But now I'm changing my tune, and I want to say that it is important to be on the major platforms in some capacity, and that is YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Twitter, sorry, X, and TikTok. Yes, I'm saying that. I was vehemently against TikTok for a while. I've always been watching it, like as a marketer, but I think, and we'll show you why it's important to be on those basic platforms.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think we used to follow that same mantra not that long ago too, right? Pick two, right? Or let's where is your audience, and then we'll go there, right? And I think that held true even a couple years ago. I think, and we're gonna touch on this as well today, but the ability to now scale that content across all these platforms is a lot easier than you think.
Yeah,
And we're
and
going to
we're
talk
going to
about
show you how, for sure.
that now versus 3 years ago,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Okay, so the biggest trend now, I did a lot of research. We read a lot of articles, listened to a lot of podcasts of the top people in marketing, and they all agree on this. Organic content is going to win the marketing game in 2024. We have an election year, both in the US and Canada, which means ad spend is, we're going to see a huge increase in ad spend. So that ROI might not be there, and it also isn't tenable long term. So, and we also see that people's attention is on these social platforms. This is where you can captivate that and really show off your brand. So, how do you do this? As a marketer, and I say this as being one of the most introverted people you will ever meet, you have to be the social butterfly of your company. You have to get to know every single person that you can, your salespeople, your customer service representatives, accounting, your operational staff, processing, and really get to know what they're seeing, trends they're seeing, their pain points, the pain points of their clients, and really kind of synthesizing that and getting subject matter experts to help you build these really good quality content pieces that you know will resonate with your demographics. So what I have done in the past and what I'm currently doing with Truthlet to help with content, because there's no way on my own I'm going to develop 1 to 3 pieces of posts a day, is a group of brand ambassadors. And that's you locating who in your brokerage or business can help you create content and post content on your behalf that you trust and know understand these social platforms. So I have a group of about 10, and they do that with me, and we meet once a month to talk about what the next month is going to look like. So it's a way to expand and elevate your content production without having to add resources on staff. AI, if you're not using AI already to help with your content dev, please, I beg you right now, just do it. Call me, LinkedIn message me. I'll get you on ChatGPT and show you everything I've learned, because I can probably, with a team of 2, you could probably uh, 800 times your marketing based on AI. And I'm not talking pure AI. You still kind of like feed it content blocks that are meaningful and say, turn this into an article based on this information. It'll take 2 hours, 5 minutes. Please do it. And interestingly, we're seeing long form video come back and engagement rates, and that would be 10 minutes or longer. And so long form video could be an interview with someone in claims saying, what losses are you seeing the most that homeowners can prevent, and really kind of digging deep and showing around the house for water damage. And of course, what we've been talking about, a big trend for organic content, is to add more platforms into your social marketing strategy. Sam, Chat GPT is super easy, right, Sam? It is super easy. And it's like, I've become so codependent on it. It's not healthy anymore. The other day it was down, and I literally was like, how do I do my job now without Chat GPT? So maybe I'm on like the unhealthy side of codependency with Chat GPT, but I promise you, it will make a huge difference to
And
invest in.
yeah, I agree. And I love Joseph's call out here too in the chat. Being a previous producer and now a BDM, and taking a lot of the social media into your own hands
Yeah.
as well. To enhance your portfolio and provide that expertise. So 100%. I think one of the things that I just wanted to add there is that, we understand. We'll get into this a little bit more, but we understand the insurance. I mean, Tanya and I work with big brokers, large, small, large and small, carriers. We know there is formalities and standardization and brand to consider. So it's going to be this balance of moving quickly and being agile, but also we'll get into this kind of in the video trends, but not allowing the perfectionism to be the 10-pound weight, because we're going to miss the boat, right? And we're going to get into, instead of the 8 posts a week a day, like the Gary V's preaching, because we're not saying that that's necessary right now, but we're going to get into some of these tactics right
I'm
now.
not gonna spend too much time on this because we're already 24 minutes in and we have a lot of trends to go over, but some differences in statistics that we're seeing in 3 years. A big thing is don't link outside the social environment. This was starting to happen in 2020. I was noticing our engagement rates were lowering when we were linking outside of our social environment. This has become extremely the case. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, do your best to either say, if you're interested, DM me and I'll send you more information, or put the link in your profile. But recently, I've also been seeing instances of cases on Instagram where even saying link in profile has been decreasing engagement rates because the algorithms are noticing it. So just be cognizant of that. A good platform to be on, especially if you're B2B, to do linking and more information, is YouTube. If you're doing B2B, small commercial, set up a YouTube channel,
Yes.
start doing some interview podcasts, start like doing some how-tos, best practices, and you can link to different resources. They don't care. They don't care if you're linking outside. It's a great place to really do your video marketing. Be careful about your engagement rates with comments. Don't get people to spam comment you. So don't, like back in 2020, I'd be like, I would hashtag in the comments, or I'd be like, find out more in the comments, because I knew comments meant a higher reach and more engagement. It's getting smarter. And LinkedIn, I noticed actually the last 3 months, I noticed I'm like, wow, we had like 20 comments on this post. Why is my engagement rate struggling? It's because LinkedIn now recognizes if someone from your company is commenting, they won't give you the same engagement reach anymore. So just be cognizant of that, and you have to kind of play that engagement game, because that is the most important metric you're ever going to see in social media. It's not followers, it is engagement, because engagement does fuel your follower growth and not the other way around. And post frequency, back in the day, it was 3 times a week. I was like, solid, 3 times a week. We got Facebook, Instagram, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It's now 1 to 2 times a day on all the platforms. So
Yes.
just be aware of those changes.
Yeah, the day trading attention, and yeah, and the only thing I would add there is when we're talking about organic here, right? So when you talk about linking outside the platform, if you're running paid, all bets are off. You're paying them; they don't care what you do, type thing. Okay, so let's get into. I know there's quite a few questions and stuff coming in here. Yes, Aubrey, organic. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
organic.
I know. Listen, I'm freaking out too, because obviously I still run social media with Kelsey, our social, like she's our content marketing manager. And we are like, okay, let's do this. We're actually going to try to do 2 to 5 times a post a day, but we're going to show you how to do it. We're going to show you how you
Yeah.
can do it, because yeah, I'm freaking out too. Believe me. This is my content success equation, because I like to put things into equation, because nerd. So it's frequent posting plus high quality content. Don't post if you can't reach your 2 posts a day quota, don't post. It's just going to kill your algorithms. So
Yeah.
frequent posting plus high quality content, divide it. So divide that content into different pieces of content that you can use on different media types, equals engagement success. And Jen's going to go over what I mean by that in the next slide here.
Yeah, so this is a really simple example of what we're talking about, in order to, kind of lighten the load. So how to turn a 1 blog post, article post, high value into 4 different types of media. Okay. So again, what Tanya was saying is that if it's not authentic, it's not high quality, don't do it. That's it's going to hurt you more than trying to be rushing just to get things out. So focus on start with one piece of high quality content and turn it into short form video, multiple posts. There's tons of different formats based on, an example of 5 steps, or 5 things to avoid, an infographic, and of course, long form video. What I think is incredibly fascinating, and for the marketers on the call, you guys probably find it fascinating as well. Obviously, it's by design, is that the tools now available today, call it AI, call it whatever you want, Canva, the in platform, tools. You can do that now. You couldn't do that 5 years ago. You couldn't actually create a nice infographic or short form video unless you had the actual skill set. So it's here. Anybody can use it. And obviously, there is a level of skill set to make it look really nice and things like that. But there's a balance of that. Okay, it goes back to what we were saying before. Perfectionism is going to hold you back, and there's that balance between standards and don't break brand, but also don't let it hold you back. So this is an example. I don't know if you guys have tried any of that, but use that when we send it over. Video marketing. This is Tanya's baby area, so I'm going to let her tackle video.
I'm going to start with an anecdote. So last year, we noticed that our engagement rates were significantly better when we were posting video, but we didn't have anyone doing video. So we're like, hey, what are we going to do? It was me, who doesn't do any type of video. I'm a writer. It's my background. And Kelsey on Canva creating these product videos and these fun little videos through Canva. We have zero experience creating videos, but we were pushing it out anyway. And I made the decision to let's break away from brand standards and keep pushing content out and let's see what happens. I don't necessarily recommend it. As a marketer, I was curious to see what would happen. And we tripled our LinkedIn audience. We tripled our LinkedIn followers by pushing out content that was good quality content, maybe a little rough around the edges, but that was informative and eye-catching. And I was shocked because I was on the school of thought, like brand, everything is brand. But then I looked into the numbers, and we're gonna just take a minute because everything we're gonna talk about today is grounded in research. Here are the numbers of why, if you're not doing it yet, video marketing is really important. Don't freak out because we're gonna get into it. 87% of the online content that was consumed in 2023 was video. It was video content. Short form winning at 31%. You got your long form video at 16%. Podcasts and video podcasts and interviews was at 13%. And live video is actually, they're saying that that's going to make a huge increase in 2024. And the reason live video is increasing, have you noticed that when you're on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, anytime someone goes live, it like drops down and it tells you, it notifies you, you jump on. Or on TikTok, it actually is in your feed. So you can like join in whenever, middle, beginning, end, and you're watching a live feed. So it's huge for engagement right now. So all of that, 74% of video content is getting the most engagement online. And down here at the bottom, you'll see that I wrote 6.46, like at the very, very bottom is your text-based content. So, okay, you don't have someone doing video. That's totally fine. Like I said, Kelsey and I were just roughing it, okay? We're just trying to put out video using stock video, interviewing people on the team with our iPhones. And in fact, people used to worry about audio. The trend for 2024 is no audio and captions because a lot of people are watching their video on silent. So don't even worry about audio quality. And further to that, because I was seeing these engagement rates go up on these very roughly edited videos. And if you go back on the Trufla LinkedIn page and watch these videos, you'd be like, yeah, that's pretty rough. So the engagement rates are showing that rough videos, so not highly produced or highly edited videos, are actually getting a higher engagement rate than highly edited videos, and it's because they're perceived as being more authentic.
Yeah, and I think on that note, it's I think it was Emma Roloff who talked about this at Amplify, which I thought was really cool. Is that, obviously it's nerve wracking. It can get nerve wracking to put yourself out there. But again, it's kind of like one of these things where it's just do it. Just do it, you know, coming from a place of what you think is valuable to your customers. And yeah, you're going to look back at your first couple and it's going to be cringy and it's going to feel off, but very quickly it's just going to feel second nature and natural. So
And some of the videos I've been seeing, because I did some searches on, especially on TikTok. So I'm like, what are brokers doing on TikTok? There are funny
yeah,
videos of a day in the life of a broker. You should look
yeah,
them up. They're so good and they're so funny. And there's one company I've noticed in Canada that's doing a really, really, really good job with their video content marketing, and that's Zen Insurance. So if anyone here is on the call from Zen, you're killing it. They're doing really good, very authentic TikTok and Instagram videos that are getting like millions of views. So probably some of that sponsored, I'm assuming, but still, like, it's doing really well.
yeah.
Moving along. Any questions about videos in the chat before we continue? I know it's scary for me. Like, actually just being here talking to you guys is scary for me, but you have to do it because it's marketing, and this is where we are in the world of video and putting yourself out there.
Yeah. And I think there's a real chance we're going to talk about that. There's a real never before could we educate, if we're speaking about insurance for a second, right? Never before could we educate the public, buyers, existing customers quicker, better, more concise than we can today, right? And I think that truly, truly needs to be the driver. So let's get into the next one. So hyper personalization kind of follows suit with what we're talking about, but we'll go back. We'll go back to how you can really help customers. So sorry, Ken, I'm just gonna. Okay, so 92% of 18 to 34-year-olds are willing to share their data for more personalized experiences. So again, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but that is holding true. So even in those different age groups, they're not seeing it as a privacy thing in so many ways. And if you're completely off target, it's actually making a worse impact there. So Tanya and I have been preaching about personalization and preferences for a while. We're going to dive deep into this in a completely separate boot camp. But if personalization and preferences weren't important before this month, with Google and Yahoo's new email changes that they were released about 2 weeks ago, February or end of January, I think early February of this year, it's absolutely imperative now from an email perspective. So this is impacting B2C. It's also B2B is not that far behind. So really, what are we talking about? Again, we're talking about increased customer expectations and their expectations around personalized experiences. It's going to give your company a competitive advantage, improve customer engagement, and really allow you to go into that one-to-one relevancy in order to resonate on a personal level with these individuals. And then you can see there on the right how that translates into insurance. So we're not going to spend too much time here in reading all of these bullet points, but you'll get them in the deck. And then obviously, how do you get to personalization? Well, personalization is all based on data. It's not magic. You cannot create personalized experiences if you do not have, if you are not collecting data, if you don't have the right data, and so on and so forth. So we'll jump into that.
100%. I am going to plug Truthful a little bit because back in 2016, 2017, and I know, Sam, I know you know, personalization in email marketing meant putting someone's name in the field, like "Hello, Tom." That was
Yeah.
that was the creme de la creme of email marketing personalization. Now it's like, hey, Tom, your condo is renewing with Intact on September 13th. We noticed that you don't have sewer backup on your policy. You're in a high risk area for sewer backup instances. We see that you're on the ground floor of a condo. Let's chat and get you that coverage. That is hyper personalization. And I'm sorry, my friends, you are not going to get that through the data that's coming into your BMS, because it's just very, I know Sam's just did it because she knows that was like personalization back in the day, because it just doesn't, it's not built. BMSs were never built to handle email marketing in the first place, let alone email marketing with that type of hyper personalization. And I know it's very small on your screen, but all those little things that you're seeing, those are all filter categories of personalized content you can plug into an automated email campaign. So it literally took me 2 minutes to do an automated email campaign by just typing in what I want in a filter. So if you do want to see that up close and see what that all looks like, scan the QR code and book a demo with one of our salespeople, and they'll run you through it. It's really, really cool. And I really do wish I had it when I was doing broker marketing. It does save a lot of time and a lot of stress downloading Excel spreadsheets and trying to figure out mail merge, all that stuff, which I hated doing.
Yeah, and I think so. I just want to reiterate. So this is a very I wouldn't say simple. It's an obvious example of personalization, right? The other aspect of personalization is based on behaviors, right? So here's a very simple example. You've got a lead gen running, and you've got email nurturing going on for people who have requested a quote or who have gotten a quote. There's a lot of talk in this industry right now that producers, they can't actually get back to these leads in a timely fashion, right? So whatever your lead nurture program that is running Monday to Friday during your open hours, when they could potentially reach you, right? Even if they've gotten a quote on a rating engine, that's going to look much different than if they've requested that quote or gotten that quote over evening hours and weekends. Like, picture what that text message would actually look like, or that email message would look like. Hey, sorry we missed you, right? XYZ, we have, great rates, blah, 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 blah. Give us a chance to reach us on Monday morning, or, here's a Calendly link to get in touch with me, what have you, right? So just think about it when we think about personalization, expand it into behavior as well. All right, Tanya's moving ahead. Very ahead. Oh, sorry. All right, so just a little bit here about Goose. We are a full service digital marketing agency. We're on the service side, and we help with lead generation, customer marketing, data, and insights. You can use us for content and social media. We work with companies of all different sizes. Sometimes we are absolutely everything to a brokerage or a company because they don't have a marketing department. And other times we are helping hands. We work with companies that have 7 to 10 people on their marketing team, and we are plugging gaps both on the strategic side as well as the execution side. So if you need some help and this is all seeming overwhelming, then for sure give us a call. Okay. Oh, sorry, Dan.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, so I'm on a different, okay, I just realized that I am controlling 2 screens here. Sorry about that. Okay, so this was a very exciting, I think, to me, I think there's a lot going to happen here. So trend 4, loss prevention and awareness equals profitability. So marketing is now accountable for a significant portion of pipeline, of pipeline and revenue for companies. And I don't think brokers are excluded from this. It's not just about getting volumes of new business or cross-selling, though. It's about education, retention, decreasing loss ratios, and increasing profitability. Over the last couple of years, or even I would say 15 months, it has been more obvious to me or to us around the opportunities that lie within digital channels to help, with things like loss prevention and profitability. So urgency of loss prevention in the face of a hard market or otherwise, escalating claims, change impacts, loss prevention becomes crucial to reduce claims, enhance broker commissions, and ensure sustainability. Targeted education initiatives. I think that prioritizing education on loss prevention measures both for prospects and customers help you attract and retain the right audience over time. So I think that's going to be critical moving forward. Quality over quantity. In a selective market, the value of leads hinges on their insurability. So no one wants to spend all this time and effort and money to go and drive leads that your insuring partners don't want to write, or it's taking too long to turn around quotes. And then leveraging technology for prevention. So there's going to continue to be advancements in technology such as telematics, smart devices, sensors, wearables, and more. This tech coupled with AI will help prevent losses and redefine the value proposition of insurance as we know it today. There was an article by Niall Kavanagh from earlier this year, about 3 weeks ago, that breaks down the concept of going from a risk transfer model in insurance to a prevention model in insurance. So super exciting. We're going to put the link in the deck into this presentation over. Profitability opportunities in this industry in the next, I don't know, five years is going to be absolutely exciting. Like, talk about nerding out on video.
I was just gonna say, you sound
I'm definitely nerding out on what's possible from a profitability perspective.
absolutely. And let's practically speaking, let's look at this. How much time do brokers have on the phone with their clients? Not a lot. So they're not doing that prevention education like we want
Right.
to, because they're overwhelmed with the day to day. So if someone's buying their first house, the broker's not like, hey, do you have, here's some tips and tricks to help you prevent water damage loss as much as possible. Instead, the marketing team can take that over either through automated email marketing, through certain filters like, hey, new homeowner, they get this risk assessment like booklet. Or the broker could simply say on the phone, hey, we developed a guide on how to prevent water damage risk in your home, which is the most costly and sometimes often a little gray area for claims in the home insurance world. We just want to look out for you. I'm sending it to you right now. So it's offloading that risk, that loss prevention awareness to your marketing team instead of to the broker, because I know there's not a lot of time there anymore to have those long discussions with your client.
Yeah, and Tan, you and I always go to the place of, pulling data for, let's say, cross-sell communications, right? Or cross-sell strategy, right? Oh, let's look at our data set of everybody that, doesn't have adequate, overland water or sewer back coverage, and focus on that cross-sell upsell. Brokerages can take that a step further, link up with one of these, smart home device companies, that are providing water sensors, not just for the one in the basement, but for the one in every single kitchen sink, right? Or kitchen sink, bathroom, and provide those for their clients. Again, obviously there's a cost to that, but I think that's what we're going to see a trend going. And I think that's super exciting.
Trend number 5. I know we don't have a lot of time left, but this is a very important trend. This honestly, in my opinion, this is the second most important trend to organic content marketing, and that is voice search. And the reason why I have it backed up with statistics. So here are some stats. That font is too small for me to read, so I have to look. Need my bifocals. Have to look at my other screen. This is elder millennial people. So 30% of web browsing is now done by voice search. 56% of mobile users use voice search. And it's not the age group you might think it is. It's actually 25 to 49-year-olds who are heavily using voice search. And guess what? That's your target demographic for insurance. That's the gold mine of multi-line policies that brokers want. And 71% of people would prefer to use voice search simply because it's easier. So if you are implementing SEO or you're heavily based in SEO strategies in your brokerage, this is something either you should talk to your SEO provider for, and if you don't have an SEO provider, maybe look into getting one because it will take some time to develop. So what would that look like, technically speaking? It would be someone saying, hey, Siri, find me the best home insurance policy in Halifax. And Siri would be like, hey, sure, I have several options for you for home insurance in Halifax. Here are the top rated policies based on coverage, customer reviews, and affordability. Notice how important those customer reviews are in Google for voice search. So if you don't already have a Google review strategy, please contact me. I will just tell you my secrets to how we
Yeah.
got Sharp Insurance to have thousands of 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult, I promise. And then it'll go on. She'll say, or he'll say, or they, whatever gender they want to be, will say something like, Sharp Insurance offers comprehensive coverage for your home and belongings with flexible payment options, or Cheap Insurance specializes in customized policies tailored to your specific needs and budget. And they're all getting this. So how are they getting these answers? Like, where is this coming from? We'll show you. So these are a few things that you have to start doing, or talk to your SEO provider, or get an SEO provider to start doing for you, because a lot of the traffic will start coming from voice search in 2024. Use natural language and long tail keywords. Optimize for feature snippets. Please improve that site speed. Go to Google site speed insights URL. I'll link it down below, and test the site speed for your insurance website. If it fails, you are not going to be popping up on these voice search results. Just give me a second and I will link that below. Mobile optimization is key, because a lot of these searches are over the phone with Siri or whoever. And local SEO matters, because a lot of the time when you're doing these voice searches, you're saying, hey, can you find home insurance near me, or home insurance in Halifax? I'm in Halifax, that's why I keep using it as an example. And Google will only favor sites, will only display sites that are secure, so that they have the HTTPS. So make sure that's also on your website. And create FAQ pages, because people tend to ask questions. So something like, can you find me, or how much does it cost to insure Ford Escape 2016? And so, having those FAQ pages or something like that, I know that's a lot of content, but something like that on your web pages will help come up on those voice search results.
Yeah. Crazy where we're at. And I feel like voice search was caused by voice communicate, like voice texting communication. It was like, oh, now we can voice text, now we might as well voice search. So I think it's hilarious.
Jen, social responsibility programs.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I'm a big advocate for this. And I know no one commented that you prefer to purchase a product. I know, Joseph, you said it doesn't matter. Sam, I know your social responsibility. I know you. You're a big environmental person. Not to call you out, but yeah, I think it's important. And I think that we're seeing, especially in 2024, you're going to see more people, especially millennials and your Gen Zers, making that buying decision, not just based on reviews, but also based on, okay, what are they doing for the environment? And that's the big one right now. See, yeah, it does matter, Sam. That's a big one right now. And when you work in insurance and you're seeing people lose their homes due to fire and flooding, and farms not making money because of massive hail claims, it just makes sense that your social responsibility program would be something based on environment. So 43% of millennials have made purchases based on the corporate social responsibility program that they have. 55% of global consumers are willing to pay more for sustainability. I'm paying so much more for clothes as long as it's made sustainably. I'm telling you, like, it's just so important. And I know that, like, fast fashion is probably one of the worst polluters, but it does make a difference when you buy one piece of clothing as opposed to 10 ones that have like a huge environmental impact. And 77% of consumers are more motivated to purchase from a CSR driven companies. So, and those are going to increase, by the way, in 2024.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Let's change. So, what does that look like for your brokerage? Where would you even start? Something really simple is for every policy sold, we'll plant a tree. That's like the most basic you can get. So, some branding you can do. This is just an example: is ensure and grow, secure your future, planting ours. Your policy, our planet, a tree planted for every coverage secured. So you feel good. I just bought a home insurance policy and they're planting a tree in my behalf or something like that. And you can even gamify it. Like when they're renewing, hey, because of these policies and you renewed, we've planted 10 trees so far on your behalf. So you can like keep it calculated or whatever. It's just a nice to have. You don't have to put it in right away, but think about it. It's something that could help the buyer choose you over a competitor. And we know how competitive the insurance industry is.
Yes, and I want to just call out, I'm not going to call out who, obviously, but I do want to call out the brokerages that are focusing on this stuff and they have for quite a while and you know, awesome job because it does make a difference and helps your brand stand out. Yeah,
This is the last trend. Hey, Jen.
yeah, last trend. Last trend in the next
Stay with
slide.
us to the end. Thank you. Thank you. This is the last trend. And again, we're going to go over the stats. In-app purchasing, huge, huge. And we kind of talked about it when we said that social media platforms are showing the ability to now buy within the platform, so you don't leave the platform. So here are some stats. So the global in-app purchase market is expected to grow from 162 US billion dollars in 2023 to 882 billion in 2032. That's insane. That's insane. More stats for you. Again, I have to put it on the big screen for my aging eyes. The rise of direct-to-consumer monetization in-app purchase on social apps are expected to grow 150% in 2024 to 1.3 billion. Consumer demand for tailored experience is high, with successful personalization leading to increased engagement and retention. Meaning, how you would use this for insurance: you have an app, you're at the airport, and all of a sudden it locates you and saying, "Hey, did you remember to buy your travel insurance?" So that's the type of
Yeah.
hyper personalization where you are in the journey, where insurance can come into play. And of course, AI and machine learning has made this possible to add this hyper personalization and understanding your demographics within the app environment to start to really customize offering based on where you are in the buyer journey, where you are location wise, and predict where you will be, what you will be doing in the next year or two. Yeah. And then, of course, I have to end it, guys, with saying, Truthfully came out with the first ever in-app marketplace for brokerages where you can do pet insurance, roadside assistance, travel insurance, and gadget insurance. So for your demo, and of course, not all those insurance policies are up yet. They're coming. But for your demo, just scan that QR code and one of our salespeople will be there. So this is your way to get in front and to capture some of that billion-dollar market at your brokerage. And the best thing about this, because I was a broker, you don't service the policies. You just get the revenue. It's just you get a cut of the commission that's sold off your mobile phone. So basically, you get to sell small insurance lines without having to deal with any servicing at all.
Yeah, which is costly. There's no overhead, right? So
yeah.
That's yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, so we've got a few minutes for questions and things coming through. Anybody has comments or things that they want to add. I don't know if Joseph's still on the call. Stephanie, awesome bootcamp session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stephanie. So I think, I don't know if Joseph's still on the call, but it'd be great. Maybe we hook up afterwards and consolidate some of these points. I really like what you called out about, individual one-to-one videos just on you speaking. I think that that's really key. Like Tanya said, linking up with claim specialists, account managers who we all know have seen so many different things inside, a brokerage, not just, from a producer selling perspective, but from the day-to-day trenches. Those are great people to interview and talk to. And the next one I think we're up against is the Google, Yahoo email privacy, which is hefty. And that'll take pretty much the whole 50 minutes.
Yeah. And that's all about hyper personalization and email marketing. And oh, there's another Tanya on the line. Hey, other Tanya.
I know. I was wondering if that was you. Hi, Tanya. I didn't know if that was you, Tanya. I was like, wow, you are slick. You're talking and you're typing.
No, I'm really not.
Um,
Sam, Aubrey, Richard, Amanda, Tanya, thank you so much. Aubrey, for TikTok, should we set up a company corporate account or use personal account to rep the company?
Good
It
question.
depends. It depends. Talk to your market. If you are the marketing department, obviously that's your decision. I think it would be good to have both, and that's that whole brand ambassador play where they tag your company, but you have people making their TikTok videos. You're going to see it, but I'm going to attempt to make TikTok videos. It's going to be super cringe, but I am going to try for True Plus. So you'll definitely see more of that play coming
Yeah.
up. Thanks, Dwight. Thanks for coming. Brian, thanks. This is why we're friends, Brian, Jen, and I, because we are so passionate about marketing and so
Yeah.
nerdy about insurance that we're just natural BFFs.
Yeah, we try to actually keep it toned down a bit, but it just comes out by the end of these webinars. We're it's like we're having coffee together.
Absolutely. And we will email everybody the PDF version of the slide deck so you have it for your notes. How do you think LLM, yes, like GPT will change the strength of SEO? For example, if you ask ChatGPT where to get, oh yeah, Marco, good question. So, interestingly enough, our SEO team is watching this because we have noticed that it's pulling information similar to how it's pulling from voice search,
Yes.
because it's using, like you said, the natural language modeling. So, those long tail phrases, the FAQs, those Google reviews are super important because, of course, it's going to look at peer reviews. Yes, Marco, it's important, and that is a trend that's going to happen, especially with like Google Bard coming to Canada, and yeah, it's going to be another game changer for sure.
Yeah. I would say reach out to Tanya and I on anything that you've seen here around how to, amplify your Google reviews or SEO or any of the things that we talked about here. And we're happy to just have a one-on-one as well.
So, Stephanie, we do have, and I think I invited you to it. I can't remember, but we do have a LinkedIn group for marketing nerds, for insurance marketing nerds, and we do post all of our upcoming webinars. And I am going to start sharing more content that I'm discovering for some of the research that we're doing there. And we'll also, because you attended this webinar, we'll also send you an email of our upcoming webinars. The next one is for email, so. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. That's definitely Jennifer's area of expertise, but it is really, really important to be aware of those changes because it can highly affect. And I know, Stephanie, we've had conversations, and I've had conversations with a lot of people on this chat of email marketing is not getting us the same click rate that it used to, and we're going to go over why and how to fix that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and if there's anything you guys want to see, we'll post up when we send you the links. Post up in the LinkedIn marketing chat. We're happy to keep. We always say, digital marketing is like raising kids. It's expensive and takes a village. So, we're all together in this battle.
Tanya, I do want to talk. Let's talk offline because it depends on who your demographics are. If your demographics are 25 to 35, I'd say let's focus for you on Instagram and Facebook because you are smaller. But if your demographics are a little bit older, I would add, actually, I'd probably, you know what, I'd probably stick to Instagram and Facebook for now and try to post at least once a day. And we'll chat. Tanya, I'm going to leave you my email. I will chat with you on this subject, and we can look at how we can expand your social media following for you using ChatGPT. Because if you're small, you need help from AI.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Take
Okay.
care, everyone. Have a good rest of the week.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye.